Okay, it looks like our first opponent brought a mono electric type team. Um, Here we see the Regieleki, Galvantula, the Pinkerchin. Then we also have Jolteon, Morpeko, and Electivire. Um, I didn't quite see what I selected for my team, but I'm things that I was considering and things that were going through my mind is that I knew the Regieleki set or the possible set would be double screens, and so that he was trying to make sure that his electric moves were hitting us hard, but then, or at least that's what I thought. But then, if we had any electric type moves that we didn't hit him as hard, because he would be protected by screens. We had the same strategy, or we had the same option, and in here we ended up just bringing the Tyranitar against Galvantula lead. I don't know if Galvantula wants to set up screens. I think the we knew Galvantula would want to do that, um, and so we planned for it by bringing Dragon Dancing Tyranitar, which does pretty good against his team. We have Jolteon here. I'm not sure why Jolteon wanted it to come in here. Let's see what it has. But it gets hit by the sand on turn 1. Another possible lead for my opponent would have been the Pinkerchin with the Electric Surge ability that sets up the electric terrain so that he would get a 50% boost in his electric type moves. For those of you not familiar with Generation 3 of Pokemon and newer, that's when they introduced abilities, and each Pokemon has an ability that they can use in battle. It might trigger at various points in the battle. We see that Jolteon here wants to go for Charm, bringing the attack stat of Tyranitar to -2, but that still does pretty good damage, and we pop the balloon. And with sand damage, that Jolteon is below what I would say maybe below 20%. It's probably at 15%. I can't tell. Let's see. If you were to do that 3 times, would you end up 50? Maybe. So it goes. He goes for another charm, but we don't. I don't think we're too worried about that right now. I think Tyranitar here was. We were just fishing, or not fishing, but thinking that maybe the Galvantula was going to come in, so we wanted to hit it for super effective damage. We didn't want our Stone Edge to miss, because Stone Edge is not 100% accurate. There's a chance of missing. There's I believe, a 10 to a 15% chance of missing, and we didn't want to risk that, so we went for the Fire Punch, which is slightly more accurate, and it's neutral damage, meaning it's neither super effective nor not very effective. Just regular. Here I'm considering switching out my Tyranitar because I know that Electivires comes sometimes with fighting type moves or even Earthquake. I think I ended up trying to look at things on the computer, like different stats, to see if I could live it. Live an attack from Electivire, that is. But in the end, I just swapped out into my Regieleki. And we're gonna see the Electivire items. Electivire is a new Pokemon that is allowed Sword and Shield in this tournament. And actually, well, people have been able to use it in the ranked battle stadium, ranked battles. Okay, so he sets up the electric terrain, and can probably finish off Regieleki So here Reguleki can just try to set up screens. Now, I think it can only set up one screen, and I'm not sure. I think for the most part, Electivire are physically offensive, but I'm not sure why I did that. I think just because, in general, electric types use special type moves, so I decided to set up a light screen that reduces the damage of special type moves by 50%. However, Electivire attacks us with Max. Is that Max Inferno, or what is that move called? I totally didn't read it. But a Max Fire type move. Max Fire type move. What is that called? Max Flare. So it hit us with a Max Flare. Mimikyu comes in, and I think my thought process here was that I wanted to get rid of the electric terrain. I didn't want my opponent to have any sort of advantages, and since I just set up the light screen, in I wanted our team to have the advantage of reducing incoming damage by 50%. So that was my thought process. I thought if I were going to win this, Mimikyu needed to be at full health. I'm sorry, Mimikyu needed to reset the terrain, and it just needed to Dynamax in order to do that. We're gonna see Max Starfall here, and that does pretty good damage. It's about half. I would say a little over half, but I think there's some sand damage. But it's around there. Around 50%. Now we see Max Quake, so Electivire trying to raise its own special defense. Which is interesting. I'm not sure if he was trying to read something here, or maybe Electivire was just trying to, increase its defenses any way it could. And that was one way. At this point, we can attack with a fairy type move, I would say, because it's boosted by the terrain. If you have misty terrain on the field, then your fairy type attacks are going to be boosted by 50%. So if Max Star normally does 130, then half of 130 is 65. So you would add that. So it would be a total damage of 195. And we see a Thunder Punch from Electivire, but I think... Oh, so we went for Max Phantasm. I'm not sure why we did that. We could have also gone for a Fairy type move here for the Max Starfall. The Galvantula comes back in. And normally Galvantula, I've seen them hold the Focus Sash, so it's possible that it lives the next attack. And as far as its moves or its set, I would say I've seen Energy Ball as well as some sort of electric type move like Discharge or Thunderbolt. We see the Discharge there, and it doesn't do that much. I wonder if this is a more defensive Galvantula, but there you go, we see the Focus Sash. And that was our last turn of Dynamaxing, so Mimikyu goes back to normal. And at this point, we can just Shadow Sneak. I remember at this point I was trying to think which terrain doesn't allow you to use priority type moves, because Shadow Sneak is a plus. I don't know. Well, it's a priority move. I don't know if it's +1 or or higher, but definitely higher than regular priority. And it turns out that it's psychic terrain that doesn't allow you to do that. So that was a win for us, and we can go ahead and move on to the next battle. And we are back. And just to talk about the previous match, I don't think that Reguleki really got to do that much other than set up the light screen. But that's really its main job in this team. It's to set up screens. So it at least did that, and it didn't really get to land an attack, but that's okay because Mimikyu and Tyranitar took care of everyone else, right? A little bit this said is that my Tyranitar is holding the weakness policy, as you guys could see. Actually, I can talk about it right now. Dragonite is wearing the heavy boots. Chandelure is wearing the choice specs. Corviknight with leftovers. Mimikyu with a life orb. Regieleki with the light clay to extend the duration of the screens. And then we also have, like I said, Tyranitar with the weakness policy. Now here, what do we have? We have what looks like a pretty bulky team, and then we know that he probably brought his own set of screens in the form of the Grimmsnarl. So we have Grimmsnarl, then we have Garchomp, the cool Galarian Moltres, which is not a fire type even though it looks like it. It is a dark flying type. Then we have Metagross, which I was expecting somebody to bring a Metagross since it's such a popular Pokemon. And this guy did. Then we also have a Walrus Pokemon, which I'll skip for now. Walrein, there you go. Okay, we don't have to skip him. And lastly, Regice. So it looks like I start by picking Mimikyu as our lead, then Corviknight, and finally Tyranitar. I think that was Tyranitar. Well, we'll see. And I think we're gonna name our opponent Lee. So we're battling against Lee, wearing his cool golden explorer outfit, and he leads with a Grimmsnarl, which I was expecting. So here, our lead is Mimikyu, and I think I'm just gonna, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, since I don't really remember it, but our options are to Sword Stance, so that we can counteract the effect of Light Screen and Reflect. In Mimikyu's case, it's only Reflect that we are worried about, because Mimikyu is a physical attacker. So we just Sword Stance, and at this point, we're back to normal. You know, we're back to the first turn. At least Mimikyu is. The rest of the team would still be affected by Reflect, but Mimikyu is not. And let's see. Grimmsnarl uses Trick. So we're gonna lose our life orb on Mimikyu, and instead we gain the Lagging Tail, which is not ideal. An alternative set that I've seen is Thunder Wave, but we do get a lot of damage in with Mimikyu, so that is really cool. And here we just Shadow Sneak so we can get the Grimmsnarl out of our hair. Nice. Okay, Mimikyu takes down the Grimmsnarl, and we didn't even have to use. Oh yeah, we did. I was gonna say we didn't even have to use a fairy type attack, but we did. That was play rough on turn 1. Turn 2. Then we see the Regice, which seems very confident to me. I don't know why I didn't see the signs at the time, but Regice is confident because it's so bulky, and right now Mimikyu might have a hard time dealing with it. I actually didn't even do the calcs. But if we do the calcs of Mimikyu at +2, +2 attack against a Regice. Regice, which typical set is Rock Polish +3 attacks. So let's see what that looks like. +2, but then behind screens. So Mimikyu could have picked up a 2-hit KO with Play Rough, and I think that's what we end up playing. Just 2 Play Roughs. But then my opponent sees the damage, so now he has to make a choice, what to do. And I know he has Reflect for 1 more turn. I think I'm just considering my options here. Also thinking about what he's gonna do next, which is, what is he gonna do? There we go. He Dynamaxes, because now when you Dynamax, your HP gets doubled, which means that now Regice can take 2 more hits. As long as Reflect is up. Thankfully, Reflect goes down next turn. We see Regice goes for the max Hailstorm, setting up the Ice Storm, or the Hail. Our Play Rough lands, and his Reflect wears off. I wonder why I Shadow Sneak here. Do I Shadow Sneak? Yeah. I'm faster, so I don't know why I Shadow Sneaked. Okay. Well, that was a misplay, I think. I mean, we saw that Reflect went down, and our Mimikyu was a +2, so I think we were just feeling confident that Shadow Sneak would hit him pretty hard and be enough to pick up the knockout. We see Garchomp come in, and Garchomp is definitely intimidating, but I'm feeling pretty intimidating myself as well, since I'm a Mimikyu at +2. I'm talking as if I'm Mimikyu. Here we could stay in, or we could swap out, and I mean, the smartest thing in my opinion is to stay in. The only reason you would want to save a Mimikyu is if you wanted to keep a priority move. But we are not worried about that. Okay, Garchomp uses Earthquake, and that's it for Mimikyu. Oh man, you did good. You did really good, buddy. We see the Hail chip damage there. And now what do we do? Corviknight is defensive and Tyranitar is more offensive. I think we were just worried that Tyranitar couldn't take a hit from Garchomp. So we end up going for Corviknight, which, by the way, I'll say this Pokemon, I used to not like it very much because it was just so hard to beat, and I believe that it's definitely well, my mind has changed now because I'm using it, right? And when Corviknight is on my side, everything is good. He goes for the Earthquake, probably because he's choiced? Question mark? But yeah, this Corviknight is pretty bulky. I used, I set its nature to careful, which makes sure that its special defense grows more than other stats, and then that's at the cost of the special attack. But here we're gonna go ahead and Gigantamax, not just Dynamax, Gigantamax, because we can. And if you're new to Pokemon Sword and Shield, all you have to do is all you have to know about Gigantamaxing is that you get your Pokemon transforms and has a new form when it Gigantamaxes. But also, they get exclusive moves. In this case, is Max Wild Range or Rage. I believe it was Range, and that picked up the knockout for us. Well done, sir. Well done. So I think we played that pretty well. Um, I am my main issue sometimes when I battle is swapping out too much, and I think I was able to avoid doing that in this match. We find ourselves another opponent. We're gonna call him Diego, and here Diego looks like he brought the Dragapult, a Tyranitar of his own, Mimikyu of his own. Then we have Zapdos, Metagross, and the Ice Horse. What is his name? Um, I don't even know how to look him up. Ice Horse? No. Probably through Calyrex. Glastier. Glastrier. Yeah, I'm having a hard time pronouncing that. But anyway, so common weaknesses we see. Excuse me, I was sipping some tea. But common weaknesses are probably Fairy. We see Mimikyu doing pretty well here, just because the Tyranitar and the Dragapult are there. But it looks like we're gonna just lead with Corviknight. And Corviknight's main weakness here is Zapdos. So how do we deal with Zapdos? I don't even think that Mimikyu can, to be honest. So what are we gonna do? Chandelure. Okay, so I think we, in this particular case, we should have brought the Tyranitar. I'm not sure that I chose the right Pokemon, but the timer was ticking, the clock was ticking, and we needed to make a choice. So, plus you guys get to see Chandelure in action, maybe. Oh, okay, never mind. This is not Diego. This is, we'll call her Kim. So Kim starts turn 1 with her Tyranitar and sets up the sand. We know that Tyranitar loves to carry the weakness policy, so that it can take a hit and then, return it in double when it's turn to attack. So we want to be careful about that. And I think at this point I'm just looking up damage calcs to see if a Fire Punch can do a lot to us. I end up spending way too much time on damage calcs, and I think I just end up just panicking here. And it's good that he didn't. Oh, maybe I thought he was gonna set up Stealth Rock. I don't know. Either way, it was a bad move. Because now we used a turn of Gigantamax. He hasn't even Gigantamax yet, and we didn't even, get a lot of damage output out of that. So I think I just got too happy with Corviknight. I saw him in action in the last match, and I'm like, let's do it again. Okay, let's see how much this does. It's still okay damage, but if the Zapdos carries leftovers, then it might not, he'll get it back. We're going to protect, we're scouting, and it roost. Read like a book. Kim is a pro. Yeah, here we're pretty stuck because I believe I've already looked at the matchup between Corviknight and Zapdos, and it's not good for Corviknight. I mean, those are its. Well, that's one of its two main weaknesses, or its two only weaknesses, right? Yeah, that would be it. Fire and electric. So what do we do? Oh, that hurts. We're gonna max Steel Spike. You guys get to see another cool move, but sadly it doesn't really do that much damage. The good news is that we are immune to the Sandstorm, and he isn't. His Zapdos is not immune. Also, our Corviknight is holding the leftovers, so it gets to recover every turn. 1/16 of its HP. You guys can rewind the video and see if that's true. I might do the same. I'm I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, that when I read about how the damage and the recovery gets calculated, that they use they round up. I'm sorry, no. They round down the numbers. So if they round down the numbers, we'll see. The cool thing, I mean, it sucks that Corviknight died, but the cool thing about where we are now is that Zapdos is within range of our attacks. We could Shadow Ball for neutral damage. Actually, it's all neutral damage. But I think here we were just concerned that the Zapdos would want to Dynamax and maybe survive anything we want to throw at it. I don't know if I was doing damage calcs. This was the last match. I believe it was the last match of the night, and we're just getting tired, you guys. We were tired. And also we wanted to live up to our 3 straight wins from before, but it just didn't happen. We were not playing very well. And for some reason Zapdos outspeeds here, which I don't know what that's about. Zapdos base speed is... Let's look it up. It's 100, that's why. So it is a fast Pokemon, even if it's not invested. Our Chandelure is max special attack, and did we max its speed? I think we did. So yeah, that Zapdos is also invested probably. He wouldn't have to invest too much, I don't think. Now we see Mimikyu against us, and Mimikyu can just go ahead and use Shadow Sneak, which Kim commands it to do. So Chandelure got to land a hit, but it really didn't seem like it. You know, I didn't let it shine. I didn't play it very well. I'm just running the calc right now for Chandelure and Zapdos. Zapdos with 72 points of speed investment ends up having a speed of 254, and our Chandelure at max EV investment, which is 252, ends up with a speed of 259. So I think he just wanted to make sure that he outsped Pokemon with a base speed of 80. And just a fun fact, in our team, 2 Pokemon have that base speed, Chandelure as well as Dragonite. So they're both tied in that speed. And I didn't invest speed on my Dragonite, so in our team right now, Chandelure is faster than Dragonite. It's just neither of them would be faster than a Zapdos. So Zapdos has got the bulk and the speed. Did we just Shadow Claw here? I think we did. But he's gonna go ahead and raise his own defense. So that's awesome. Ooh, scary Mimikyu with its swords dancing skills. Alright, Kim. What are you trying to do to us? We just have one Pokemon left and you want to make sure you just pummel us into the ground, huh? That's okay. Because you played really well. Go, Kim, go. Go, Kim, go. Like I said, at this point, I think I was getting worried and then just tired. And we didn't really play this one very well. But, you know, hopefully watching my mistakes here will help us do better next time. Our Shadow Claw hits, but Mimikyu's disguise has been busted, so we're gonna Shadow Sneak and hope that we can hit first. Our Mimikyu is which means that its speed stat will grow the most, and we did invest 252 points in its speed, so we maxed out its speed. But now the disguise has been broken, and Mimikyu is at about 70% HP against a Tyranitar. And he hasn't even... Kim hasn't even Gigantamax her Pokemon. I'm sorry, not Gigantamax, Dynamax. Gigantamax is a subset of Dynamax, and it only applies to a few Pokemon. Maybe like under 20 or so Pokemon. So we do see the Tyranitar here, Dynamax. And all we can hope for is that it protects. That's really it. Because any attack really hurts Mimikyu. Mimikyu is not that bulky. And that does it. Just a big old rock on top of Mimikyu. And we lost. No. Oh man. That's okay. Like I said, we're just gonna learn from it.